What's up, everybody? So today I'm reacting to Indian military power. I know nothing about the Indian military or the Indian Special Forces or anything like that. So this is going to be very interesting to watch. This is by Military Weapons. I'll link the original video down below. Make sure you go and share some love. Before we get started, as per usual, I want to give a huge shout out to my members. Guys, you're amazing. I love you, and I couldn't do this without you. So thank you very much. I appreciate you. Don't forget, if you're a member, to join the Discord, because we have got chats, open live chats on Discord. It's amazing. We've got a great bunch of people on there, and I've had a really good chinwag with some of you. And if you're not a member and you fancy a bit of a chinwag anyway, link down below, join, because on Fridays I also do a live Q&A on there. Links down below to all the usual stuff: Instagram, Discord, website, Twitter, my merch, my Twitch, where I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and my second channel, Original Human Geek, which you should definitely check out. So I'm going to shut up now. I know there's like a bit of music and montage in this video, so I'm probably going to kind of like skim through it and just get the nitty gritty out of it. Okay, so let me just pull this up and let's have a watch.
Military weapons.
All right. Look at their uniform. That's actually really slick. That's actually really nice. Surprisingly, I didn't expect them to have. I wonder what this. I'm not sure about this red turtleneck. But I really like the red and the green together. That bass. Hey up.
How well do you know it?
Imagine being in the military and then just see one of these towers of Indian military lads come over the hill. Amazing.
India's military, join us and watch our video and share in the comments the new things that you learned from it. The Indian Armed Forces are the military forces of the Republic of India, comprised of three divisions: the Indian Army, the Indian Navy, and the Indian Air Force.
Okay, so obviously India has got special forces. I wonder if they're attached to the Indian Army. I wonder if they have Marines. Do they have stuff like Coast Guard or National Guard or anything like that? Interesting.
Additionally, the Indian Armed Forces are supported by the Indian Coast Guard and paramilitary organizations and various inter-service commands and institutions.
Oh, okay, so there is a few different units that kind of are dispersed between them.
The Indian Armed Forces has the fourth largest defense budget in the world, which is $66.5 billion.
Oh my days! Fourth largest in the world. So what are above them? The US, China, and Russia? They're the three? They're the three that are above them? Because that is incredible. That is a large number. Sheesh.
The armed forces have four main tasks: to assert the territorial integrity of India, to defend the country if attacked by a foreign nation, to support the civil community in case of disasters, and to participate in United Nations peacekeeping operations in compliance with India's commitment to the United Nations Charter.
Yeah, so pretty much the standard as any military, really. I don't think that has to be explained, apart from the part that they're in the UN, so. Let's skip through this music a little bit.
Interesting facts that you should know about the Indian Armed Forces include: India has the biggest voluntary army in the world, all serving and
has the biggest voluntary military in the world. That's incredible.
Reserve personnel have actually opted in for service. There's a provision for conscription in the Constitution, although it's never been used.
That's really impressive how that many people in India are really committed to looking after their country. Very, very impressive.
India controls the highest battlefield in the world at 5,000 meters above the sea level. Operation Rehat in 2013 was one of the biggest civilian rescue operations that was ever carried out. The Central Armed Police Forces, which are referred to as paramilitary forces based on a colonial perspective, are not armed forces. As such, they're headed by civilian officers from the Indian Police Service and are under the control of the Ministry of Home Affairs and not the Ministry of Defense. These are central police organizations. India's first
Interesting. So they have like non-trained military or civvy military. That's an interesting way to go about it, and I guess all volunteers again.
Exclusive defense satellite, the GSAT-7, was successfully launched by European Space Consortium Arianespace's Ariane 5 rocket from Kourou Spaceport in French Guiana in August of 2013, giving a major push to the country's maritime security.
Yep.
The Indian Navy succeeded in mission Dashkin-Duruv by traversing to the South Pole on skis in 2006.
That's really impressive. That's really impressive.
With this historic expedition, they set the record for being the world's first military team to have successfully completed a ski traverse to the geographic South Pole.
That's awesome. What a great achievement. That's something to genuinely be proud of if you're Indian. Alright, cool music.
Military academies across India for training personnel, with a strength of over 1.4 million active personnel.
Wow.
It's the world's second largest military force and has the world's largest volunteer army. The Indian Armed Forces are the world's fifth powerful military.
I did not know that. I genuinely didn't know that India was such a powerhouse. Really did not know it.
The age for voluntary military service in India is 16 to 18 years old.
Yeah, so same as England, 16 you can join. Yep.
And there's
Which, by the way, I think is too young. I think Britain and other countries like India should bump that up to 18, if I'm honest with you, or maybe even 21.
no conscription. Women may join as officers and serve in combat as pilots.
That's awesome. India being progressive. Good on ya. I know there's a big debate about women being in the... Let me just get to a point where I can pause it. I know there's a big debate on like women in active duty on the front line, but as infantry, and some people say, oh, they shouldn't be, or they should be. The fact of the matter is they're already on the front line as medics anyway. And I know logistically with accommodation and stuff, there would be big changes in Britain. I know that they're slowly making them changes and adding women into the Royal Marines, and I am so happy that they are, because first and foremost, it boosts our numbers, and secondly, I know a lot of women who are way tougher than some of the Marines I've met, and I'll tell you that right now. My wife is tougher than I will ever be, and she would have definitely got into the Royal Marines, I'll tell you that right now.
Of their exercises, India often conducts naval exercises with other friendly countries designed to increase naval interoperability and also strengthen the cooperative security relationships. The Indian Navy took part in the world's largest naval exercise/war game in 2014, along with 22 other nations, and has since taken part in that exercise each year.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. I know that these exercises go on with different countries, and again, it's just practicing things on such a large operation is good, not just for lads who have got boots on the grounds, but also like, you know, officers who are in charge of like whole units and stuff. It lets them all increase their skills. So the fact that they're taking part of that only shows that they really want to work hard to make themselves better. Let's push this forward. A lot of cheesy music. A lot of cheesy music, guys, right there that we don't need.
When it comes to wars and operations, the Indian Armed Forces have been engaged in a number of major military operations, which include the Indo-Pakistani Wars of 1947, 1965, and 1971.
I don't know guys, I don't know enough about the history of the Indian military, the wars they've been in, and I'm genuinely interested. If anyone's got any recommendations for books on the Indian military, obviously in English, because you know it's the only language I can speak, or anything like that, or any websites that talks about the history of the Indian military, please let me know. I am very intrigued.
The Portuguese-Indian War, and more. India also honors its military forces annually each year on December 7th with Armed Forces Flag Day.
Okay,
Since
yeah.
1962, the IAF has maintained a close military relationship with Russia, which includes cooperative development of programs such as the 5th generation fighter aircraft and the multi-role transport aircraft.
Interesting. So they're obviously working closely alongside with Russia. Yeah, I mean, Russia are a powerhouse as well. The four powerhouses, I guess, then are the US. I have to do it on this side so you can see it. US, Russia, China, and America. And if India and Russia are cooperating, then that's two of the biggest powerhouses in the whole of the world cooperating. So it's only going to strengthen their numbers. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Did not know that. And before all my Americans friends say, "Oh, they're with Russia," so you know that, because I know a lot of people want to talk about politics when it comes to different militaries cooperating with other militaries. I care more about the individual soldier than anything else, because the individual soldier, whether they're in the Russian army, in the Pakistan army, the Chinese army, or the British army, or the American army, or anything, they're only trying to help their country. Whether they think that their country is doing right or wrong, I don't know. And whatever side they're on, literally go back to World War One and Two. A lot of the Germans, a lot of the Nazis, didn't really know what they were fighting for, or they were brainwashed. So, you know, it doesn't matter whose side you're on. The individual soldier is what matters to me, and I think that's very important because they're trying to make their families proud and they're trying to make their countries proud, whether they think they're doing the right thing or not. It's very important to remember that, guys. Let's fast forward this crazy music.
The Ministry of Defense. When it comes to equipment, the Department of Defense production of the Ministry of Defense is responsible for the indigenous production of equipment that's used by the Indian Armed Forces.
Okay.
It comprises 41 Indian Ordnance Factories under the control of the Ordnance Factories Board and 8 defense PSUs.
Okay.
India remains as one of the largest importers of defense equipment, with Russia, Israel, France, and the United States being the top foreign suppliers of military equipment. The government of India has launched a Make in India initiative to indigenize manufacturing and reduce dependence on imports, which include defense imports and procurement. In the category of weapon systems, the Indian Navy operates K-missile family submarine-launched ballistic missiles, along with Prithvi-3 ballistic ship-launched missiles, and a number of land attack cruise and anti-ship missiles like the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile, the 3M54E and 3M14E club anti-ship land attack cruise missile, along with the KH-35, the P-20, the Sea Eagle, and Gabriel.
Thick boys, them missiles. So let me just rewind a little bit before he was talking about missiles. He was talking about the equipment they have, and they're trying to push to get most of it built in India, which, by the way, I know a lot of military equipment gets traded around the world, but you want to have as much of that military equipment made in your country, because, you know, God forbid there's ever another big war, which I hope there's never ever a big war again. You want the kit to be made in-house, because if India are getting supplies from America and they ever went to war, or they were getting supplies from Russia and they ever went to war, that's a supply cut straight done, you know, and they're not going to get them supplies and they're going to be in a very bad situation. So having military equipment made in your own country, very important. Common sense, guys, it's common sense. Let's get past this cheesy music. Cheesy music time. Cheesy music time. I like these montages, but I just want to know the facts, guys.
82.
I just want to know the facts.
It has a total aircraft strength of 2,082, which includes 520 fighters, 694 attacks, 248 transports, and a total helicopter strength of 692 with 17 attack helicopters.
That's a lot.
On land, it has 4,184 combat tanks,
wow,
2,815 armored fighting vehicles, a self-propelled artillery of 200, a towed artillery of 4,060, and 266 rocket projectors. And on water, it has total naval assets of 295, with 1 aircraft carrier, 13 frigates, 11 destroyers, 22 corvettes, 16 submarines, 139 patrol vessels, and a mine warfare vessel.
Damn. I was most impressed then by the amount of submarines they have. That's a lot of submarines. Also, most countries have more equipment than you actually think, and I know the US and Russia and China both have vehicles, whether they're on land or by air or on sea, that are not accounted for and people don't know about. So these are probably like, this is what we know of. They probably have more than this, to be honest with you.
Thanks for watching. What do you think about the Indian Armed Forces?
All right. So definitely go and give this channel some love. I'll leave a link down below. It's military weapons, and the video is called Indian Military Power, the Highest Battlefield Controller. Again, very impressed with the Indian military. Didn't know this much about them, and would genuinely love to know more. I'm a kind of a history nerd, so I'd love to know more about the Indian military and the history of the wars that they've been in. So definitely leave some recommendations of books or websites or videos down below. Would highly appreciate it. So yeah, that was awesome, guys. I'm very impressed. I might react to more Indian military stuff. Obviously, before you all go, as per usual, shout out to my members. I love you all so much. You're amazing. And genuinely enjoy chatting to you all in Discord, which there's a link down below for the Discord. Join it whether you remember or not. If you want to become a member, there's a join button next to the subscribe button down below. And always, there's links down below to everything: Instagram, Discord, website, Twitter, merch, I already said Discord, second channel, and my Twitch where I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay, guys. Have a wonderful day. I love you all. Take it easy. Goodbye.